Hello and welcome to another Minecraft video with Hearts Beaten, and today I just wanted to do a little bit of a base tour of Valerian, which is a base that I was at. This is actually my world download that we are on right now. You may recognize the name from a video that Baron Dome did recently, link in the description, but this is a slightly more updated version, so there'll be a little more, and I'll show that off a little bit. But mainly what I'll be doing today is showing the things that I've done here. It may not be the biggest stuff like that over there or that, but you can see all that in Baron's video. What I'm just here to do is show what I have done, and a little bit more of the updated world download. Okay, so I was invited to this base on September 30th, 2018, and I got there shortly afterwards. The sign wall's right here. You can see that I got there... Oh, I didn't write a date, but my alt got there on October 16th, 2018. And then I got there a little bit before that. But, let's see, the first thing that I built was over here. So, this time was shortly after the fall of Haven and the Purgatory Temp bases, which you can learn about on the 2B2T wiki, but I was still obsessed with Dark Oak Forests, so I decided to make my house in one. Let's see if I can find the entrance here. Right here. This is what I made. I was just still, like I said, experimenting with Dark Oak, and because I really liked the style of things you could build with all these flowers, and especially the dark grass. That was my favorite thing. Now this house isn't the best, but it does have a small secret area down here. Not very secret, because the torch is wide open, but there's a little bathroom here. Other than that, there's not much to say for the house, but there was a horse stable over here. While we're at it, I don't know when I made this, but there was an end crystal here. In fact, I'll put it right there. There's an end crystal there. It says, "I dare you not to punch this. Let's see how long it lasts." I forget when I made it, but this actually still stands to this day, even after it is griefed, so that's interesting. Oh yeah, this. We had checkers tournaments over there at the checkers table, and I actually won the first game, and we didn't do any more, but it was still a really fun time that first time. And we had, didn't get saved in the world download, but we had, I think, slab. Like Dark Oak slabs or something. But yeah, it was pretty fun, and it worked quite well. All the way on the opposite side of the base, where this stuff is, I was over here. I was the one that made this, Dark Oak circle. I was going to make a town in here that was dedicated to redstone, so like, fish farms, or mob farms, or redstone shops, but I never went anywhere with that. I just made the circle, and then I let Hawked on Phonics go in here and do his amazing work as usual. Two things I did over here are my Impossible Items Museum, which I showed off in a video that I've made in the past, but I had things like double beds, octuple chests. This is actually on 2B2T, but the griefers blew it up. My favorite is the single wide portal, and there's some other things, but I won't show those since I've already made a video on it. But over here, probably the most interesting redstone contraption I've made ever. Not because of the complexity, just because of the fact that it's a novel idea as far as I'm aware. The idea was that you could buy a horse, essentially. To get a horse, press the request horse button. To send back a horse you do not like, write it into the horse, and then it would say receptacle, but it got cut off. Get off of it, and then press the labeled button. The horse will be sent away and held for re-evaluation of stats, and either reused or killed. So how it basically worked was you literally just push this button. I doubt there's any horses in here, but if I spawn some in. Okay, so the way it worked was you'd push this button, and then a horse would come out, and you could just take it and leave, or kill it, for this example. But I've been trying to record showing that this works, but it looks like the tripwire hooks are bugged out and are consistently putting out redstone even if nothing is powering it because of a glitch in the world download. I've tried replacing these, but it doesn't seem to fix it, so I don't really know what's going on there. But once that horse got shot up there, this would unpower, and this block would retract, letting all the horses shift down by one slot in this holding chamber. So that's pretty cool. and I do like the design of the room. It was my first time trying to go with a spruce and cobblestone kind of house on this sort of scale, and I think it turned out okay. Oh, this is actually another thing. This build right here is by Hawked on Phonics, of course, because it looks amazing. But the point of it was we would have redstone bed wars, so there would be an island here, here, there, and all the way over there. So we would have 4 different teams, or 4 different players, I guess, and it would all be like made of redstone, and I would do the redstone. It would have shops where you could buy blocks and weapons and tools and armor, just like normal Bed Wars, but unfortunately it never got done because none of the islands got finished, except for this one, which looks absolutely insane. Like, you can't even get onto here. There's no way to get on, but still, it would just be used for one thing, but still he went all out and made something incredible. Over here is Santa that I made for Christmas. I forget who made this tree, but I came by and made Santa next to it, and yeah, it's just Santa with a gray face for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. It was pretty late that day. But I believe I made it actually on Christmas Eve. I'm not exactly sure. But it said, underneath the bridge to the right, over the water, there is a door. Do not enter unless it's Christmas where you are. So then if you go over here, under the bridge, there's a door. It says, do not enter until Christmas. I mean it. And then you'd head down here, and there's like this cute little cave with fireplace and some bookshelves. These buttons do nothing, but these do. So you go over here, and this is where Santa's naughty and nice room is, and there was a room there. Sorry, there was a book in here that showed who on our member list was naughty and nice, and it was just playful, funny stuff. It wasn't like serious. But yeah, a lot of the things at this base, and even any base really, that's what I like about it. There's just the small things that people do in the base that make it really fun and throw a personal touch to it. And it's a shame that this base got griefed very recently, because it was an amazing base. You can just see the sheer size of it, and this will be the second base tour going out on YouTube that doesn't even cover half of it, so yeah. Also, while I'm over here, I'd like to show off another person's build. Cloverfrost made this. It's called the Valyrian Congress. It uses a different style of our logo. You can see that this is dark gray in the background instead of green. So it's a variant of, it's a variant of that. In Baron Dome's video, when he showed it off, he was using an outdated world download, and the back part of here was not finished, but in this world download that I took, it is actually finished, and everyone in the base has an office, fully complete. It never got a chance to be personalized. Like, the idea was that we would personalize our own offices, but you can see I started to do some of mine. Yeah, this is my office, Ministry of Logic, but unfortunately it didn't get finished. But it's more finished than what was showed in Baron Dome's video, so I wanted to point that out. Oh boy. Over down here, this is the Valyrian dupe stash. It's got, I believe, over 2,000 chests, I think, at least. I'm not exactly sure. I may have even opened some of these in the world download. I don't think so. But yeah, here's, it used the chunk dupe, obviously, November 14th, 2018. Official duping station. That's when we began doing the chunk dupe. So we had the books in here, obvious normal setup. And here's where I first started messing with impossible items. So I have this double-headed bed here. I had an extended piston, but someone placed a block next to it, so it got reset. Here's a water block without a source, I guess. Then here's a floating torch, and I was going to see if I could make one... Oh, seriously? Wow, okay. Good thing I have this world download backed up. But I was trying to see if I could make this redstone stay straight, but it didn't. So yeah, we would dupe this entire chunk here. This was all of our valuables, the most important things anyway, and we would switch this out every so often. But we just copied essentially this chunk and moved it all over to a similar area. So you can see there's the same amount of chests in these other areas, and we did it about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times with plans to do more, but the dupe got patched and we honestly had enough. Yeah, a lot of stuff. And the most interesting part about this was we had kits. So here's Clover's kits. She had dyes and landscaping and flowers and things like that. And over here there were stone kits, and here my redstone kits that I made, and Regicide's black glass because he was obsessed with black glass for some reason. It's funny, going around like this makes me realize how little I did at this base, and how much I wanted to do but never got a chance to do because I was fairly busy with school and stuff. But yeah, I hope I can change that at my next base. I'm gonna fly around and look for some other things I've done because it's been a while and I don't exactly remember. There's probably something random out there. But before I do that, here's something that Baron did not show in his video. This is over by the iron farms, but it's another amazing build by, you guessed it, Hawked on Phonics. Probably the best builder at the base, I'd say. We all have our different skills. Mine is redstone and symmetry, I guess. Clover's is terraforming. Hawk's is definitely just flat out building. The details on his things are insane. Like, this isn't even a checkerboard pattern. It's got nuances and blocks missing in the right places every time. He's got a table over here, and it's just incredible. These at the beginning. It's just incredible what this guy can do. And yep, this is blown up now on 2B2T. That's just how it goes. It's funny, actually. The griefers that griefed this said that this was one of the biggest and greatest bases they've ever seen. And let's be honest, if the griefers of this base are saying that, then it must be something. Oh, that's right. Down this tunnel I've got something. This tunnel is massive, by the way. Here, let me put up F3. You can see that this is going on for quite a ways. It's unfortunately unfinished, but it does go for, I think, 3,000 blocks in total. Oh yeah, here's something you won't find unless you're looking for it. The coordinates are up on the screen if you want to go in the world download, also linked in the description. But this was just a random thing. I believe Clover, Charlie, and Hawked on Phonics were working on this tunnel, and they were just bored and decided to make this little thing. It's just things like these on bases that make it really worthwhile, and I highly suggest making a base with some friends if you haven't already. It's probably the most fulfilling thing to do on 2B2T, for me at least. I know other people like killing people at spawn, but this is what's for me. Okay, so there's gonna be a couple chunk borders over here, obviously, because I did not do the world download correctly with the right seed, but let's just ignore that. Here's the map art section. Most of these are by Charlie. Here's Charlie's remake of the Billy Joel map art that he made at, I believe, Purgatory 4, or Exposition, I'm not exactly sure, but he recreated it here, and this is now blown up as well. Here's a staircase map art of a rapper, I believe, and here's a normal one of Biggie Smalls, and by the way, these are both by Charlie. Here's a part of Jesus' face from the Last Supper map art that was going to be done. Then over here is my first map art, actually, ever, and only, but it's a 2x2 of Big Brother from the book 1984 by George Orwell, saying, "I recognize that block," instead of the original caption that said, "Big Brother is watching you." But right here in the center is, again, one of these tiny things that you'd never expect to see, but it's just here for the sake of being there. This was a project worked on by me, Clover, and Charlie, and it's just literally a tiny packed town. The idea was for it to be as cramped as possible and to fit in as many builds as we could. This was made at probably past midnight for me, so it's just like these tiny things made in a day where you're tired and you want to just build because you want to. I mean, there was no rhyme or reason for this, but it's just here. So this one and this one are my builds. I took heavy inspiration from this one, but these are original, and I'm pretty proud of them. I do think this island looks amazing with shaders on, so I'll put those on real quick. Yep, here it is. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I did in the base. Yeah, it wasn't as much as I, again, would have hoped for. I did want to show you a griefed version of this base. Actually, it's perfect that I ended here in the map art area, because that's where I finished when I took this world download. Here's everything you saw, but griefed. So, the Biggie Small's pretty griefed. Ooh, wow, it looks like I didn't get this part. That's unfortunate. But I did do the seed correctly in this world download, so you can see if I go over here, there's no chunk boundaries. But yeah, I'll just fly over to the main town and show you what it looks like. Here's this place blown up. They also griefed the tunnel, which I found odd. I never showed you the end of this, by the way. It leads all the way to the train station, and that was gonna branch off in different areas and go to places in the base. But again, not finished. This does go somewhere, but I don't need to show that right now. It was a really horrible grief, honestly. A lot of stuff is left standing, like the top of this house and this entire area. Here's the dupe stash, I believe. Still some chests remaining. Oh yes, on this world download I tried to open as many chests as I could. So you can see that this still has stuff. It probably won't by the time this video goes out, but yeah, it has stuff at this point. Because this was just after the grief I took this. Here's my house, completely untouched, I might add. I didn't even realize that. I took this download using Baritone, which made it a lot easier. Here's the Congress. Again, really horrible grief, because most of it is still intact. I mean, not that it's usable, but I mean, look at it, it's still recognizable. Here is Hawkdon Phonix's cathedral. The gold farm is still mostly standing, including the interior, though this part's blown up, but the whole farm itself will work. I mean, couldn't even get that griefed. But let's go over here. Here's the beautiful flower structure, and all these towers gone. Here's the impossible items museum. As you can see, completely destroyed. All of these chests here will never, probably never, become available on 2B2T again, so this may have been the last remaining place that those were at. Here's my horse store, again blown up. I believe, yeah, there was actually a horse remaining here that one of the griefers took after they blew it up, which I found funny. Here's Big Bat's football field, untouched, of course. Just thought I'd show that this time. Here's a bit of Santa left, and down here is completely ungriefed, it looks like. That's nice. They didn't grief this statue, it looks like. Maybe that's the one thing that they left fully intact. That's interesting. I guess they didn't want to go through the trouble of breaking all the obsidian. But yeah, overall, a pretty bad grief, but it is griefed, and there's nothing we can do about that. So yeah, I hope to make more videos on 2B2T in the future, of course, but it's pretty hard when you're a builder basing with people. because of coordinate exploiting and all of that. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!